Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank you for joining in on this of my first ever video vlog. If you had told me I would even be able to turn this thing on a few months ago, I would have told you were crazy. I am not techie. I am not into this stuff, but this has been I've been given an opportunity of staying at home and learning some new things. I intend to make almost daily a short video blog like this for those of you who are interested. This crisis is one like none I've ever experienced. I've never been told I could not leave the home and no one could leave their home. I've never experienced anything like that. And I realize I overstated it. But for many of us, this crisis came fast with a lot of questions about the reality of it, the severity of it. I don't think we, even at this moment, really know how severe it's going to be. You know, health-wise, economically, politically. You talk about crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of it. So I've learned the hard way, I guess, that this crisis is not the disaster that many people are thinking. I think it's a God-given opportunity for some real big change in our world, in my own life, that might be necessary. I think it's a Sabbath. 2 Chronicles 36:21 tells us that God expects us to Sabbath. And when we don't, sometimes he forces us to Sabbath. We're going to talk about that verse more in a later blog. But the Sabbath was not God's suggestion. It's part of the Ten Commandments. It was something that God established from the day he started creating the first week. I'm not alone in this thought about this crisis. I was reading on the internet a lot of different blogs, and one of them mentioned that Mother Earth tells us to stop and rest because, you know, it's communicating with us to spend time with people, to slow down, to get out and enjoy nature and quit working so hard and stop and listen to what Mother Nature is saying. And that same blog went on to say this: God said this. They compared what God would be saying. Not so much. You will stop. You will take your Sabbath rest. Work will not be your idol. Money will not be your security. Turn to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth. And I am in agreement with that as why God may have done this. Let this happen. I don't think I was prepared for this. My first day of house arrest was hard, and I call it house arrest because it kind of feels like that. I had no idea as to what to do. I had been so busy for so long that my mind would not rest. I was always thinking about people. I was always thinking about problems, about how to talk to people, how to pray, about how to write the next message, how to encourage somebody else to step up. And I kind of did not do well with that first day because I had no clue what to do. Everything stopped. I had nothing to do. And I don't like nothing to do. The second day, which was last Wednesday, things began to fall into place. I always start my day with Bible reading and prayer and time with God. and I highly recommend that. I think that it would be the best thing any of you could do. I wish I could spend more time doing that. It's Sabbath time, quiet time with God. And as I was reading my Bible and praying about what to do next, many of the things on my projects list that I had never thought I'd get to or even do, like a vlog, learning to use a camera on the internet, which is intimidating. I'm not photogenic. Don't tell me to smile and take my picture, and because I'll be like Calvin and Hobbes and make some pretty wife nudging worthy faces. Stop that kind of things. I'm learning new skills in this time. We've learned to do, I didn't do it, but I was a big motivator, being the pastor of the church. We've learned to do web-based internet services. We could actually do live. We're not doing live yet because we kind of feel we need to be edited, which this is not live, but it's not going to get edited. And the other thing that started on that Wednesday was nobody telling me I had to do something. And that included myself. I was not telling myself I had to do something. I took a nap. I rested. In Sabbath, the word itself means rest. How about that? It was like someone had pulled the plug on the drain of me, inside of me, the drain inside of me, and all my tension started to just drain away. All those burdens that God says, bring me your burdens, cast your cares on me, give me your anxieties. Bring them to me and let go of them. Trust me with them. And I started to do that. And it felt good. I've always slept well, but sleeping well takes time. By that I mean I get in bed and it's going to be an hour before I get to sleep, usually, no matter how tired I am. And I now get in bed and I can go to sleep because I'm not carrying all those burdens. When we don't stop in Sabbath, we don't even think it's possible to let go of something and give it to God. That means trust Him with it and not try to take care of it yourself. So that brings me to the next definition of Sabbath, and it's time with God. It's not in some religious way time with God, but in a practical moment by moment time with God way. What a gift. Many of us have no idea what that means, but it's like sitting down with your best friend, talking. Sometimes you don't even have to talk when you're with your best friend. If you know me, talking is not something I don't do. Stopping from talking is not something I do easily. But I do have some friends that I can just sit with. That took time. So Sabbath is time with God. It's relationship with God. So Sabbath means relationship time. Not just with God, but it's relationship with others. This isn't, for most of us, we are being forced to be alone with some people, family, like we've never been before. I'm hearing some complaining about that from some people. We don't do that well. If we're going to spend time with family, in the past, me at times, it was doing something. Sabbath is communication time with those who are close to you. Learning who they are, listening to them listening to you. Take advantage of this time with your family. I believe that God has been and still is crying out to us, Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Without a Sabbath, we don't stop. We do the fast food approach to religion, to God, to life. We do the drive-through approach. It is not as good. I'm going to pick up on this theme again in the next video blog. But in closing, I want to say this. You and I have been given a gift of Sabbath time. What will you do with it? Thank you. God bless.